Go ahead.
Good evening. This is Wednesday night. Typically what would have been the Wednesday of the preparation to the Passover. The Passover on this event back in time when Christ was here, this Wednesday would have been the night that you ate the Passover Seder. And then at midnight, Wednesday night, but for the Jewish people, Thursday, that's when the Passover angel came. And we've been trying to reenact as much as we can some of the events and activities that the Jewish people of that day were going through. And in just a moment, I'll stop talking in this tone, as it were, and we're going to be going through some actions, see if you can keep up with this reenactment of how things may have gone that night. Okay? And we'll start now. Well, we were all excited a couple days ago when Jesus came into town. We were looking forward to the Passover, which is tomorrow. Many of us thought that finally the Old Testament prophecies had been fulfilled and the Messiah was here and the Davidic kingdom would be established. We were really excited. We were going to come here tonight to observe the Passover Seder, knowing that the Messiah was here and the kingdom would be established. But I think we all thought all that was going to happen. But last night, things changed. He was arrested. They took him. They tried him. They convicted him. Jesus was sentenced to death, and today I saw him on the cross. So here we are. Is he the Messiah? Well, there's some things that could be said. And I'm going to ask my daughter if she'll read something to us to help us understand all that went on. Maybe you weren't there, but she's written some things down. She's going to bring us up to speed.
Do you remember? The soldiers took off the purple cloak and put his own clothes on him. Then they took Jesus and led him out to crucify him. He was carrying his cross. Going out, they found a man from Cyrene by the name of Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus. He was coming in from the country, and as he was passing by, they took hold of him, laid the cross on him, and forced him to carry it behind Jesus. A large crowd of the people followed him. The women in the crowd were beating their breasts and weeping over him. Turning to them, Jesus said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, don't cry over me, but cry over yourselves and your children, because the time is coming when the people will say, 'Happy are the women who couldn't have children, the wombs that didn't bear, and the breasts that didn't nurse.' Then people will begin to say, 'To the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us.' If this is done to the green tree, what will be done to the dry?" 2 others who were criminals also were taken away to be killed with him. Do you remember? They took him to what was called the place of a skull, which the Jews called Golgotha. They tried to give him a drink of wine mixed with myrrh and gall, but when he tasted it, he refused to drink it. There they crucified him. Then they also crucified 2 robbers with him, one at his right side and the other at his left, and Jesus in the middle. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his clothes and divided them into 4 parts, one for each soldier, drawing lots to see which one they should get. The tunic had no seam. It was woven in one piece from top to bottom. "Let us not tear it," they said one to another, "but let us throw dice to see who gets it," so that the words of the Bible might come true. They divided my clothes among them, and for my garment they threw dice. That was what the soldiers did. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Pilate had written a notice stating the reason why Jesus was punished, and the soldiers put it above his head on the cross. He had written, "This is Jesus from Nazareth, the King of the Jews." Many Jews read this notice because the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Aramaic, Latin, and Greek. Then the high priests of the Jews told Pilate, "Don't write the King of the Jews," but he said, "I am the King of the Jews." "What I have written," Pilate answered, "I have written." The people stood there watching. Those who passed by mocked him, shaking their heads and saying, "Ha! You who would tear down the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself if you are the Son of God, and come down from the cross." In the same way, the ruling priests, the Bible scholars, and elders were sneering and making fun of him among themselves. "He saved others," they said, "but he cannot save himself. He should have himself been saved if he was a Savior whom God had chosen. He is the King of Israel. He should now come down from the cross. He should let us see that, and we'll believe him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now if he likes him. Didn't he say, 'I am the Son of God'?" The soldiers also made fun of him by going up to him and offering him sour wine. "If you are the King of the Jews," they said, "save yourself." Now his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary from Magdala were standing by the cross of Jesus. Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing near. "Woman," he said to his mother, "there is your son." Then he said to the disciple, "There is your mother." From that time on, the disciple took her into his home. Do you remember? It was about noon when darkness came over the whole country, because the sun had stopped shining, and the darkness lasted until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. About 3 o'clock, Jesus called out aloud, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why did you forsake me?" When some of the men who stood near heard this, they said, "Listen, he is calling on Elijah." After that, because he knew that everything had now been done, and in order that the words of the Bible might come true, Jesus said, "I am thirsty." A jar full of sour wine was standing there. Immediately one of the men ran, took a sponge and soaked it in sour wine. He put it on a stick of hyssop, held it to the mouth of Jesus, and gave him a drink. "Let us see," he and the others said, "if Elijah will come to save him and take him down." Now, when Jesus had taken the wine, he said, "It is finished." I was there. Again, Jesus called aloud, "Father, into your hands I entrust my spirit." After he said this, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Just then, the curtain in the temple was torn in two, from top to bottom. The earth was shaken, the rocks were split, the graves were opened, and many bodies of the holy people sleeping in their graves came back to life. They came out of the graves after he had arisen, and went into the holy city and showed himself to many people.
I don't understand. I don't really know what to believe now. I thought he was the Messiah, but he's dead. What should we do, folks? The religious leaders, they're going to be hunting us down. The Romans want to arrest us too. So listen. Maybe we can get by if we just try to fit in. Most of our neighbors don't want anything bad to happen to us, but some of them do. But if we just take a low profile. Saturday is a Sabbath. Stay with your family. do the things you normally do on Sabbath. And Sunday's the first fruits. We can meet back here and see how things are going. See if any of us have learned anything, if there's anything we can do to help. But what we really need to do right now is just get this stuff out of the way and don't leave any evidence. See if we can get by. See if we can make it. Amanda, Chris, can you take this stuff and put it away? Floyd, can you put this in the closet over there? Randy, can you help the ladies here? Get some of this stuff. Just put that over there in the closet. If we stay low and stay quiet, maybe we can get by. Here, Chris, take these. I'll get the table. Oh, get that candle.
I get it.
Well, folks, let's just go and see if we can meet back here Sunday for the first fruits. And we'll offer the crops like we're supposed to, like Moses told us to. And see your neighborhood or mine, where we can go that might be better for us. Good luck. We'll see you Sunday.